she thought that maybe we could share some great resources with all of you on some Yelp best practices.
So we are just going to kick things off by talking very briefly a little bit about consumer behavior and how Yelpers are using Yelp to make big decisions. So online reviews really do influence consumer decisions, especially during a time like COVID when there's a lot of competition for consumer dollars. And if you take a look at these logos, you might recognize a few of them. And these are just to illustrate a little bit of the difference between a site like Yelp versus something like Uber or Food Network. But we're all sort of going towards the same thing, helping people make decisions. So how do people make their buying decisions? Well, we know that almost 100% are reading online reviews for local businesses. People want to put their dollars into a local business that they can feel good about. And our Yelpers on Yelp are especially passionate about supporting local whenever possible. And 85% of them are trusting online reviews as much as personal recommendations. Where Yelp differs a little from other social media channels is that we're a community that really knows each other. We know each other by name and face. They know us, we know them. And 73% of Yelpers say that the positive reviews are really going to lend that trustworthiness that makes them choose your business when it comes time. Slide. So what are the online intentions with all of the different social media platforms? So as you can see with Yelp, our intention is I want to buy. But for other sites like Google, that might be I want to learn, or Instagram is I want to engage. But we're really here to connect people into the decisions that are going to impact their lives. So whether they're just looking for a great place to eat out for dinner, or they're looking for home and local services to redo their home and invite strangers and contractors into their house. We want to help them with those important decisions that are going to have a big impact at the end of the day. One thing we know about Yelp users is that they are high earners and they are doing their research. Almost over half of Yelp users have that annual household income of over $100,000 or more. And these are a little bit more affluent users who are investing a lot of time and thought into how they use Yelp. So some great news is that over 92% of consumers visiting Yelp make a purchase after engaging with Yelp. So that happens at least sometimes, frequently, or almost always, but almost more than 3/4 are making a purchase within a week. So we know that they're coming to Yelp to really seek valuable information, not just from other users, but from you as a business owner as well. They want to get to know you and get to know your story through your Yelp page as quickly as possible as they lament on these decisions that will impact their spending dollars.
So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about using some of the free tools that we have. So sometimes when I talk to business owners, their first experience might have been just when somebody from Yelp sales called them to see if they're interested in purchasing additional tools on Yelp. And while those tools are super valuable, there's also a lot of really great free resources that you can be using to make sure that you're maximizing your presence on the website. So first things first, you definitely want to make sure that your business page is claimed on Yelp. So any Yelp user can go on and create a new page listing for a new business that doesn't already exist on Yelp. So it's possible for a business to exist on Yelp without even that business owner having claimed that page. So it's really important that business owners take that initiative to claim their page on Yelp. That's going to enable them to do all the things that we're about to talk about, updating your page listings, responding to reviews. So let's dig into that. But first thing, biz.yelp.com. There's also a business owner app. You can claim your business there as well. So the first thing, once you've claimed your business page, you want to make sure that it's up to date with the most up-to-date information about your business. It's especially important during COVID, and we're going to be getting into some of those resources here in a bit. But by updating your information on your business page, as you can see here, people who claim their business pages see 4 times more user views and 5 times more customer leads per month. And as we get into some of these updates, you'll kind of see why you're going to get more of those user views. So as you log into biz.yelp.com, and you'll see that you have the app there as well, this is what the page looks like. So first, to start off, you'll see that column on the left. We're going to start with that little business information button. It's a really great tab to start with. So sorry, trying to move my windows around here. They're getting a little bit jumbled. Here we go. So once you get to that tab, you can update the name of your business, the address of your business, your phone number, website. And these last 2 might not be super clear if you're not familiar with exactly what they mean, but categories and attributes are also really important. So categories are going to be any category that your business falls under. So for example, if you owned a sports bar, your sports bar might fall into a few different categories. Obviously, one would be, bar, nightlife. Another would be restaurant. So you really want to make sure that you can select up to 3 categories, I believe. You want to make sure that you're selecting the most relevant categories. Now, we're going to get into this a little bit more, but this really helps your business appear in the most relevant search results. So by updating those categories, you're making sure that the people who are searching for your business can find your business. Are changing. There's been more attributes added, but you want to go there and see. You can designate your business as a Black-owned business. I believe we have. Jayme, can you confirm here for me? Do we have BTQ-owned business as well as an attribute now?
Yeah, that was the new one that happened earlier this year.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was about to say, I think we just added that one as well. So things like that, just go to make sure if you want to identify your business as one of those things, go through and make sure you've checked all the attributes that apply to your business, because that way those things can be searchable by Yelpers. Especially this year, we've seen, a huge influx of people searching for Black-owned businesses, during the climate of the world. And that's been a really great tool for Black-owned businesses to be able to reach these new audiences. This, I would say, is the most important thing that you really need to focus on after you've claimed your business page, is making sure that your hours are listed on your business page. This is so, so, so important. And the reason I say that is because when Yelpers are searching for what they are going to do, the purchases they're about to make, oftentimes they're searching for things that are open right now. There's a little button that they can click to make sure that they're searching for things that are only open right now. So if you don't have your business hours listed on your page, you're just leaving money on the table. Those people are going to select another business because you're not even going to appear in the search results. So anytime I see a business page that doesn't have hours listed, that's always the first thing I tell them, is make sure you get your hours on there, because you're just not even going to show up in the search results for people who are looking to make purchases right now. As you can see, there's a few other edits you can make to your hours, things like temporary closures. So for example, right now, really timely, if for some reason there was, an instance of COVID that forced, you to maybe temporarily close the business, you could do that. If there's a permanent closures, you can make that change there as well. And special hours, also really important for the holiday season. If you have any kind of seasonal hour changes or, special hours for the holidays, make sure that you can update those as well. But I really can't emphasize this enough, that your hours are so important to your business listing, to make sure that you're showing up in search results and not leaving money on the table. And there's also 3 other little categories here that you can fill out that I would highly recommend. There's the specialties, history, and the meet the owner categories. The thing about Yelp is that oftentimes with Yelp, you're relying on users to tell your story for you. So, people are coming in to talk about your business. These are places where you get to tell your own story a little bit on Yelp. So take advantage of it, especially when you think about, and we're going to get into this here in a second, the search terms that people are using for. Make sure that you've listed what your business is all about in these categories. That way, those search terms are still being pulled in search results to make sure that people can still get to your page. Like I said, you're on Yelp, you're depending on other people to tell your story for you, you still have a chance to do it yourself on here. So don't leave these opportunities on the table to tell people a little bit about yourself, the history of your business, and things that your business is really known for. So the action items, these are the things you need to do if you haven't claimed your business page already, or if you haven't dove in and really updated it. Make sure you've updated your basic info, your hours. Again, your hours, make sure you update your hours, specialties, history, then meet the owner. Really get in there and personalize the page and tell people about your business. And this, I would say, if I was going to rank, the two things that I think are most important in terms of updating your business listing, the first thing would probably be hours, and the second would be uploading photos. So it's not a paid feature to upload photos to your biz listing. You get to go up there and upload photos. And again, this is part of you being able to tell your own story as a business owner. So pages with 10 or more photos see 12 times more customer leads per month. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know about you guys, but when I go to a restaurant, I want to see what the food looks like. If I'm going to a store, I want to see what type of products they're carrying. And sometimes, the words aren't enough. People are picture driven. So this is a free opportunity for you to get in there and tell a little bit more about your business. Here's what I also think is really important. We don't always think about this, is that not only is it important to upload photos, it's really important to caption those photos. So obviously when we upload those photos, people can see what we're all about, but the computer on the back end, it doesn't know exactly what those photos are of. That's what the captions are for, because then we're telling the search engine what is in these photos. So when we caption those photos, we can make sure that those photos are also going to impact search results. So by captioning your photos, you're essentially driving more traffic to your page. So for example, let's say you own a party supply store and people are searching for balloons. So if you had a photo of maybe some of the balloon creations that you've created, then and you've captioned that photo, that will help the search results direct people to your page, because the search engine will then know that that's the product you carry and that this would be beneficial to show to the people who are searching for your business on Yelp. So I always think of uploading photos similarly to the way you might think about search engine optimization on your website. When you're trying to create a website, it's tricky because you're trying to think about what words are people going to search for when they're searching for my business. And I think that that's something you need to think about as you upload and caption photos as well. So what search terms do you think people are using as they search for your business, and making sure that you're using those same terms as you caption your photos. And we've got some ideas here. If you're not sure what all should I upload photos of, on my Yelp page, here are some great examples. Taking pictures of the services you do, any kind of specialties, details, a picture of your team, show who you are as a person. I think people really like to see that they're not just dealing with this business. They're not sending their money out into the abyss. They're dealing with people. And I think that that's really important to show them as well. And again, as you upload these photos, make sure to caption them, as that's what's going to not only show people, but then we're also telling the search engine what is most relevant to the user. So upload photos, caption the photos, and that will help drive traffic to your page. And that's another good thing. I'm really glad that this page said the flag, because that's really, really important too. So as you go on and you look at your page, sometimes you might find photos you're like, this is not representative of my business. One of my favorite ones is people, for some reason, love to upload selfies of themselves at businesses. If you go on it, you see it's selfies. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're great selfies and it was them having an amazing time at your business. It's not relevant to your business page. Nobody's going to see this selfie and be like, I'm going to spend money at that business now. So you can flag those photos and just say, this isn't an experience of, at our business. It's a selfie. And the Yelp team will pull that photo down. So if there's ever a photo that isn't representative of your business, so don't get me wrong, people can take photos of your business. So make sure that you're putting your best foot forward at all times. But if it's something that just isn't your business, then make sure you flag that photo so that Yelp will take it down, so that your page is putting out the most relevant content, and that way the search engine will drive more traffic to your page. And as I said before, we do have in addition to biz.yelp.com, there is the Biz Owners app as well. And you can do a lot of the same things that you can do from biz.yelp.com. You just have it in the palm of your hand. It's really going to be great for keeping track of those reviews that come in. And Jayme's going to talk about that here in just a moment, but I would definitely recommend it if you don't have it on your phone.
Because now we're going to talk about reviews. I know this is always a hot topic. So we're excited to dive in. This is also the last section. So thanks for hanging on with us. 35 minutes in and we're still grooving. So again, feel free to share or ask questions in the chat. I've been in there a lot and happy to help. So reviews. 53% of consumers expect to receive a response, and businesses that do respond see a slightly higher average star rating on Yelp. So to Lauren's point of be a part of the conversation, be involved. You know, people expect that from you as a business, especially on Yelp. And we're going to dive into everything you need to know in regards to responding. So let's take it away. Go ahead, Tyler. Okay. So a common misconception is that people just go to review sites to speak negatively about experiences. And I am so excited to share with you and to ease your mind that that is really just not the case. So almost 80% of reviews that are shared on Yelp are neutral to positive. There's actually more 5-star reviews on Yelp than there are 1, 2, and 3 stars combined. What does that tell us? Tells us that people want to have a positive experience in a business. They want to share that positive customer service that they experienced. And that's ultimately their goal for coming to Yelp, aside from finding a good business to support, of course. They want to spread the love and share the great experiences that they're having at local businesses. The best thing to do when you're looking at your reviews, whether you've got 2 or 200, it's really important to just analyze and go through them and see if you're finding any common trends or themes within those reviews. Because you may have a handful and maybe they are a range of good to critical ratings, but what you're finding in all of them is that it's the customer service that we can improve upon. Or maybe it's just the bathroom isn't as clean as it could be. So kind of take a look. I always have a pen and paper ready whenever I'm recommending businesses do this, and just jot down the things that you're seeing mentioned in reviews more regularly. Is that the price and the value of your product or service? Maybe. Is it the actual quality of the food or beverage or product or service that you're offering? Maybe it's takeout or delivery. Maybe that's not as smooth as it could go. So usually when you're going through your reviews, you can kind of figure out where the areas are that you can improve and what you're doing really well on. And once you've got that information, you're prepped and ready to really strategize and make a plan. So 89% of consumers read businesses' reviews on Yelp. So in the few minutes it takes to respond to a review on your listing, know that it's making a huge impact, because almost every single person that lands on your listing is going to see that review and they're going to read your response. And that's the power of responding to these reviews. So you want to respond to reviews not only on Yelp, but any platform that you can get reviews, kind of like in the very beginning when Lauren was sharing this consumer behavior slides. People leave reviews wherever, and it's important to engage not only on Yelp, but anywhere those reviews are shared. So those that do respond to reviews have an average of 0.5 star higher rating than businesses that don't. That right there is a good reason to respond. Businesses who respond to their reviews have received more reviews on average than those that don't. So there's another good reason. And businesses who have more reviews generally receive higher views and customer leads. So back to that consumer behavior. If there's a good rating on your page, which we always want, if there's a lot of reviews, which we always want, you're likely going to get more customer leads and views. And one way to kind of lean into that is to respond to these reviews. If you're a reader like myself, here's a good book that you can try and you can get off Amazon. Answer every complaint in every channel every time. This book will dive into that. So if you're looking for a resource, someone to help you respond, just a little bit more, go ahead and grab this book. There's several out there. I've read several and always get a lot of good information from them. So there's a good one. Okay, so when it comes to actually responding to your reviews, there's a couple different ways that you can do that. And it really comes down to the content that's shared in the review. So know that you have the option to respond with a public comment, which means it will be viewable on your Yelp listing directly underneath the review, or a direct message that is then sent to the user privately so that they can hear from you that way. When you're trying to decide which way to respond, this kind of graphic here is a good way to kind of follow the I'm jumbling my words, sorry. This is a really good way to follow which way you should respond. So for example, if it is someone just ranting on your Yelp listing, tons of all cap letters, funky stuff is being said, and it's just a rant, respond privately. Reach out to them, send them a direct message, and let them know, you heard them and all that type of stuff. But if it's a legitimate concern, or they're stating inaccurate information, for example, your business hours, then definitely respond with a public comment, because what that does is it allows you to correct the misinformation or show that you heard their concern and that you're engaged with your listing and that you're thankful that they brought this up to your attention. So those are just kind of the two different routes. Of course, if there is, there's always going to be a time where you feel like maybe you shouldn't respond. So that's something to take into consideration too. I know it's not mentioned here, and that doesn't happen very often, but we always encourage you to engage with that user and respond to your reviews. When it comes to responding to positive reviews, which I'm sure are the majority of what you have on your listing, if you have something to add a public comment. That's great so people can see it. If you don't have anything else to add, you can just send them a private message saying thank you. And there's even a new tool, I don't think it's mentioned here, where you can kind of thumbs up the post or the review from the business owner. So it kind of lets the user know and your customer know that you in fact saw their review and you're very grateful for it and appreciate them taking the time to do that. So either one is great. Overall, amplify the positivity. We want people to see so much good on your listing. So respond, engage, be involved. And lastly, don't interfere with the natural flow of reviews. Lauren kind of mentioned this earlier. You don't want to jump in and start this conversation. You want to be involved in part of the conversation that's happening on your list, on your listing. Inspire great reviews. Don't necessarily go out there and pay for them or ask for them or anything like that. Tyler,
don't do that at all.
Like, please don't do that. Don't do that. You'll end up with even more questions like what's going on. So don't interfere, but inspire great reviews. And if you go to the next slide, I'm going to give you some examples of that. So ways that you can inspire or encourage reviews for your business without going out there and saying, yo, will you leave me a review on my business page? This is the best way to do it organically. So I included a couple of examples. Here in Columbus, Ohio, we've got this great business called Hot Chicken Takeover. I know there's a location in Cleveland as well. One thing that they do is they actually write out reviews that they get on Yelp and onto their giant chalkboard. They have a giant chalkboard on every single location that they have. And this example in the bottom right-hand corner is them highlighting a 5-star review that was shared. Beautiful example. It's very natural, right? You see it as you're leaving or as you're arriving the business. It's highlighting at Yelp. It makes you think, maybe I should check them out on Yelp. Another option here is the Yelp check-in offer. That's on the right side. A check-in offer is a great way to get people to not only check in and engage with your Yelp listing, but after they check in, Yelp does some work to help them or encourage them to leave a review. So that middle image right there that looks like an email, that's an email people get after they check into your business that reminds them to review you. And that even happens on the app. If you've checked into a business and you open up the app, you're on your homepage and you haven't left that business a review yet, it says your next review awaits, and it encourages that user to do that. So check-in offer is a great tool. You can do a free item, you can do a discount, whatever it is. I've even seen some people incentivize before COVID, like a high five or, a hug at a business in exchange for checking in on Yelp. And of course, that top one is an example of incorporating your Yelp page onto either the top of your email, bottom of your email, I guess, the top of your website, where people always add the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Those are all great and generally good for maintaining your current clientele and current customers, but Yelp is the one that you should really put up there if you want to, get new customers, new people through the doors. So add that up there too. Get creative with it. You can see some sandwich boards popped out in front of some businesses that mention welcome Yelpers or highlighting reviews, things like that. Those are the best ways to really encourage reviews naturally. I don't know. Do we have any questions about that? No? Reviews are usually where we get the most questions. So I just want to make sure. So action items. Remember to really create a strategy and a plan when it comes to managing and responding to your reviews. And also take a moment. We know that reviews are emotional. People are talking about your business, which is often your passion, your child, your baby. So if they do have something critical to say, take a moment. Also take the high road if you can. People are going to see your responses and it's going to reflect your business. And overall, take comfort. Whether it's a positive review or a critical review, people are giving you feedback on your business, and they're doing so because they want to give you that feedback. They want to see your business do well. Let's see, is that the last slide for reviews? Oh, no, one more. We also have tons of resources for you guys when it comes to your business listing on Yelp. So if you go to our Yelp blog, there's actually an entire section. You can kind of see it here that's bolded in business. All of that is full of different blog posts that will help you, whether it's with responding to reviews, updating your listing, free new tools. It's always a really good resource to check back into, maybe quarterly, to kind of see what's going on and what we have available for you. And that's it. So I will close this out. As we've all mentioned, please reach out to us. Crystal, I'm going to say right now, take Tyler's email right here, and he will track down that Black-owned business form, so we can help you with that. Please reach out to us. We are always available to help, whether it's helping you log into your business owner's account more directly because you need some more assistance, or you just want to be featured on our social media, or you want to do an event. We're here for you. So thank you so much.